It's your boy Atozzio, the hit writer, and y'all already know I got some.
Talk to us about the album, the imprint, that you have out right now, and what the overall sound of the album is like.
Well, the imprint is a collection of stories, and it basically tells the story from my heart's point of view. Because as a writer and an artist, sometimes mostly as a writer, we can write a song. Most writers write songs from their heart, their own experience. And sometimes they can go in the studio and just write a song and make up something. But this album is a collection of stories from my heart. My heart is basically telling the story of what I go through every day. You know what I mean? Like whether it's love, it's breakup, it's happiness, it's pain, it's fun. Like that's basically the way I'm viewing it. You know what I mean? Because I put the heart into making this particular project.
Okay. Now, something that I found kind of interesting, you released it in Japan first. I know for a lot of artists, releasing it anywhere but the U.S. is kind of looked down upon. So how come you decided to release it over in Japan first?
Well, first thing, my fans in Japan, they responded very well to my music from the past. When records started coming out, unfortunately, leaking or whatever. But they responded very, very well to those records. And sometimes America, we as Americans, sometimes we grasp stuff a little later. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. But over there overseas, they understand the true form, art form of music, and they appreciate R&B, and they are one of the biggest statistically countries in the world that buy most of music of the world. So it just made a lot of businesses. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to be appreciated to their truest. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Value. So that's the reason why I went ahead and went to Japan, because I know they would appreciate the music as well as buy something that they really love. You know what I mean?
Okay, now of course you're also touring in Japan sometime soon, so give us some dates or just what people can expect from you when you're touring out there.
Your tour is set for September the 21st to the 28th. We plan on giving the fans an opportunity, to meet and greet. We're looking into major interviews with MTV Japan. My team, PS Media Talent, and the label, One Piece Music Group. We're working on things right now, and they would announce more detail, and we'll give out, my team and I will give out more details as we get, any more information about it. But, it's definitely going to be a great experience. I just want to, I just want to give so much, to my fans, because I just love my fans. I just can't say words, can't even describe how much I love my fans and the way they have embraced me in my music. So.
Yeah, and then of course your lead single, I Quit, that's gotten a lot of solid feedback so far. So how did that song come together for you?
That's funny. That's funny. That goes back to the first question about, my heart telling the story. I originally wrote the song. Four years ago, something like that. I originally wrote the record, and the record was originally intended for a female artist. And I was so stumped in the studio that particular night. I didn't know. We came in the artist. It just hit me. The artist that we initially intended to write the song for is the same as the female artist who signed to the label in which we share in Japan is Joy Taylor. And I didn't know where to go with I didn't know what, and I was in a relationship at the time, and my ex she just had been getting on my nerves. She had been getting on my nerves so bad, and we were just going through a lot of issues, and I just looked over, because she's so happy to come to the studio, and I just looked over, and we had just had an argument just then, maybe 10, 20 minutes before I even went into the booth. And I and the words just came to me, and it was just like, I quit. Like, this is a job to me, and I don't want to work here no more.
Yeah.
You know, like, I gotta put my 2 weeks notice in tonight through these words, you know what I mean? So you can understand. I'm trying to tell you, I'm putting in my resignation, and I'm looking for a new job, because this is long hours, underpaid, unappreciated. You know what I mean? So that's the truth about what, and I thought women would relate to that, even though that's my personal experience as a man. I thought women would relate to that, because it's always kind of like, you know, vice versa, the woman is feeling that versus the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, another song off that album that I kind of found interesting is Kryptonite, because, you know, I remember that being on Mario's album a couple of years back. So tell me about the history behind that song.
That song is the reason that, Atozzio, the artist, even exists. I did the song was originally intended, always have been, always will be, of course, is on the album. It was meant for me.
Okay.
Wrote it as a songwriter for anybody else. I had a meeting with Atlantic 3-4 days prior to the song actually being done, and what I was going to do, I didn't know what type of records I was going to present. But anyhow, the record was given to me, and I always give God credit for everything that I always do, regardless of what it is. And the song was just that, you know what I mean? I felt like it was just God given to me, because it was so true to who I am, who I was in, and definitely who I am now. And I just wrote the song, and like, I wrote the song while I was driving, and while I was in Walmart. I wrote the song in like 30 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it was just like, when everybody heard it, it was just, you know, I was, you know, my family, you know, I come from the bottom. So, you know, cats that, you know, my family and guys that I hang with, you know, whether in the streets or whether a 9 to 5, everybody who heard this song was like, oh my God, dude, this is how I feel. Like, this is my life, you know what I mean? So when the big heads started hearing it at different labels and stuff like that, like A&R, the president, they felt the same way. It was like, man, this record is one of those records that even men are gonna want to buy, because they feel as though this is their own personal story. You know what I mean? And then once again, they got the attention of, you know, Rodney Jerkins and, you know, different other labels or whatnot. But, you know, through the business that are, you know, of the industry, you know what I mean, it ended up on Mario's album, which was a great album, by the way. But, you know, that's the true answer. So I thought when I did my own project, in retrospect, it would bring back and let the world hear my version that it was intended to hear from the beginning.
Okay. Now, I know a song you penned not too long ago is Genuine's What Could Have Been. So tell me about, you know, the experience of working with Genuine, and just tell me about the song overall.
Working with Genuine was an experience. Great dude, funny dude. You know what I mean? I've been not around a lot of celebrities, but I've been around a lot of the artists that I've actually written for. And him and on subject, but just a little off, Usher. When I met Usher, and Usher is who he is, and coming off of Confessions, so 22 million, however many millions of records he sold. He was so inviting and so welcoming and so humble. He changed my life to this day, and I tell everybody the story. You know what I mean? And he shook my hand, and he introduced himself to me like, how you doing? I'm Usher Raymond. You know, I felt like you don't have to do that because you are who you are. And Genuine was the same exact way. He got in the studio, he like, man, look, I've been in this game for 10 plus some odd years. He said, but you a man just as I'm a man, and obviously I'm coming to you, need your help to give me something dope to bring me back to the forefront of music. So I'm not gonna never treat you less than I am, because I've been around the world and I've sold millions of records and I've had number one hits. He said, dude, you're a human, I'm gonna treat you as such, dude. I don't care about this fortune and fame stuff. We are all the same. We bleed and we cry, we sleep and we eat. We all do the same things. You know what I'm saying? So dude was very, very, very welcoming, very humbling. He taught me so much. He he told me so much about the business and how not to let it go to my head. And even when we was creating the record, he was telling me about different situations in his life. And it just made sense. It was like, he was saying something to me like, man, I think if I could have did it this way, I would have done it this way. And it's about a woman, but it's also at the same time, it's about what could have been had I done this. What would have been the difference in my career? If I would have done this, what would have been the difference in my life? You know what I mean? Personally. So that's, what a song was derived from. And it was the same thing with me. It's like, dang, if I would have done this different, what could have been? So it was a true testament of everything that we've been through in our life, whether it's women, financial, personal, spiritual, mental, what could have been had certain different situations had changed. You know what I mean?